So I guess if you guys want, we can go ahead and go through our predictions week by week, if that sounds good to you, Ficky and Nick.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So week 1, now this is just barring everyone's staying healthy, of course. We have no idea how this is going to play out. But if everyone's healthy, this is what we're kind of going based off of. So I will try to keep a tally of your guys' win and losses, but if you can do me a favor and keep a track for yourself as well, that'd be great. So week 1, Bears are home, which I found interesting. I like that Caleb, first one is at home, and it is against the Tennessee Titans. We have, I think it's a pretty good matchup. So I'll start with you, Ficky. How are you feeling with this one, and which way are you leaning?
They have Will Levis. We have Caleb Williams. Like, I'm always going to start with the quarterbacks. I don't see how we can't win that game. I know they added some weapons on the offensive side for Will Levis, but I got to go with the Bears on this one, and it's a Kevin Byard revenge game. So maybe he comes out and balls out. So I got to go Titans.
You think it's close?
I got to go Bears. My bad. You don't know with week 1. Like, you see every year in the NFL, there's these games where you're like, oh, this team obviously is better on paper, and they end up losing, right? Because it's week 1. You don't have any data, historical data on this new regime and new team, like vice versa, each one of them. So you go in there and kind of, let me put it this way. It seems like it's more of a guessing game compared to playing someone week 15, right? Week 15, you're like, okay, we have 14 weeks of this team. We can see what they've done in the last 3 games, how they've attacked this type of defense. This is what they run on offense. You don't have that week 1 as much. You're just looking at last year, but every year you have new teams, new coordinators, new players. So yeah, I would still go Bears on paper, but you just never know.
Okay. So you're picking the Bears week 1. Nick?
You know what's interesting is the Titans are like that team that needs to rebuild, but then this offseason they just went like all veterans. Like,
so old.
They bring in Tony Pollard, they bring in, Ridley, Hopkins is up there. They traded for Snead from the corner from the Chiefs. Like, it's like you want to go up and like, hey, like, don't you shouldn't be here? Like, this is like, you need to like reset, but they're not. It's kind of like the Vikings, right? Like the Bears did the whole reset with a new regime, and the Vikings are trying to make it work, and it's like, I don't know how it's going to go. I think it's going to be an easy Bears win. Like you said, week 1, you never really know what to expect. But a couple of things is like, while Caleb is new and a rookie, they have a whole new coaching staff, y'all. So like they have to like get used to how is Brian Callahan and all these guys going to learn the new offense and everything, just like things are going for Chicago. So to me, I think that's even. But when you look at talent, especially defense, Chicago is way better than Tennessee right now.
Yeah, and I feel like the offense when it comes to the beginning of the year, I mean, the defense typically is ahead. They what's the word? They just get out faster. It doesn't take as long for an offense to or for a defense to gel and kind of hit the ground running as far as like an offense where it could take a week or 2. You see the Chiefs, right? Sometimes it takes a little bit. So if you're just going, both offensive struggle, Nick, like you said, I feel like the Bears defense is just in a different tier here. So I'm going easy one here as far as Bears. I think it's a nice win, and it's at home. I just feel like we can't have another dud. We saw last year. We've had a couple of those, to open the season. So I'll take the Bears. We'll be week 2 in Houston against CJ Stroud and the Texans. Nick, how are you feeling?
I'm going to go loss there. I know that's, it's going to be a tough game. To me, I think that's going to be where, okay, they're a little bit more experienced, a little bit ahead in how this is going. I mean, they got Danielle Hunter rolling with Will Anderson, and we already know how Jalen Petrie is against Chicago, how he was. Like, to me, I think that's rolling. I like what they have. I like D'Amico Ryans a lot. I think that I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think that the Texans win.
I think it could be, possibly, for some reason. I don't know. It depends on how Houston, starts. Like, if it's going to be interesting, but I feel I wish we would have had this one a little bit later. Just to get, some games, some snaps under both, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze. But Ficky, before I give my prediction, are you feeling in the same boat as far as Nick?
Yeah, 2 things. I definitely feel like this could be a loss, right? Just because Houston has proven, right, that they're the better team, right? I know we have new weapons and things like that, but we also have a rookie quarterback, and they have the rookie quarterback that we hope ours beats statistically, right? They have CJ Stroud, who had one of the best rookie seasons last year. So definitely have to go with the Texans. But to your comment about how you wish this one was later, on the other side of the coin, though, this is kind of the NFL like saying, look, we kind of believe that you guys are going to be somewhat good. That's the only reason they put you prime time this early, right? If you look at the last time we were prime time really early, it was that against the Packers, and was that 2019, right? I think we were week 1 Monday Night Football, or maybe that was 2018, and look how that season went pretty well, right? So maybe this is something of the NFL giving us respect and being like, look, we also, unless like something crazy goes wrong, we really view that your team is strong enough to have as many primetime games as you have and to have them this early. So, but yeah, I still think it's probably gonna be a loss. That's to say all that. I still think we lose.
Or that one's prime time.
Yeah, it's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, wow, that would be fun. That's a good matchup. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay here with the loss. So, Vicky, you were lost as well, correct?
Yep, correct. So
Okay,
I think
so
we're all 1-1.
We're all 1-1 here. Nick, your favorite game, or the one that you're looking forward to most, that you said earlier, Indy. How are we feeling with Flus and the boys?
I wrote down a loss for this one. I mean, I like Richardson. I mean, again, Jonathan Taylor, they got Quentin Nelson. They have a very good O-line. And also it's on the road, so like, if you think of all things are fairly equal, they're a fairly good squad being on the road and early in the year with, we got a lot of new pieces. I think that you could argue we're the more talented team, but I think that Shane Steichen, I mean, I like him and what he could do with Richardson, with running and again, he's got, they added more weapons, they got Adonai Mitchell to go with Pittman, with Downs, with Alec Pierce, with like the most gigantic athletic tight ends in the NFL. I'm like, man, that's going to be a tough
What I like about Mitchell is he was wearing number 10 for the amount of receivers that were drafted ahead of him. And I don't know if that means anything. I just like that type of, mentality, especially from a receiver. So that's interesting. So you're 1-2, Nick. I think we're just going to let you go on that note. Your negativity here, 1-2 to start the season. Thank you for coming on the pod, man. No, I feel it. I feel that way. Vicky, are you leaning in the same boat?
No, I'm going to go the opposite direction this time. I think it will be a good test. I am excited to see this one as well, but I feel like we're going to get this dub. I feel like, I guess I said this about week 1, these revenge games, right? And maybe they mean nothing, but this is the Flus revenge game, right? Coming back to Indianapolis in Indiana, right? Where he used to be the defensive coordinator, and he comes in and he shows up and the team balls out. If I were to pick any of these games where I think Caleb Williams has his first opportunity to get 400 yards, I'm picking this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So the Colts were 9-8 last year. Like you said, Nick, pretty good team. That's a pretty good team. And they added, I think they got better. All things you could say here.
Well, 9-8 with Minshew.
That's what I'm saying. You got Richardson. I've seen it. It's going to be tough.
They also got the best D end in the draft too. That fell to them with Laiatu. So they definitely got better.
I was giving you a hard time, Nick, but I'm going to go here. I think it's going to be a close game. At least I hope. But I'm going to go with the loss. I'm going to lean here 1-2 as well. So we have Vicky at 2-1, and then Nick and I at 1-2 for the first 3 games. Vicky, I'm going to start with you here. Week 4 at home again. 2 games on the road. You got the Rams, Matthew Stafford. How are we feeling?
Yeah, so I think this is going to be our first home loss. So I would see us at 2-2 here. Now, I know the Rams did lose Donald on defense, but they still have Sean McVay, one of the top 3 head coaches in the league, and their offense is pretty stacked still. So they got Cooper, they got Nakua, they got Stafford still. So I expect that they'll come in here and get business done.
Okay. They are pretty. I mean, they went 10-7 last year.
Playoff team.
A lot of stuff was up and down. So, Nick, are you in the? Are you feeling a loss, win? It's hard to get a read on you because I feel like you're going to pick a win here. That's how I feel.
You're predicting my predictions correctly. How about that one?
So, there we go.
Yeah, I'm going a dub. Mainly because I was thinking between this. It's like, okay, between the Colts and the Rams game, I think we split. This is home game. I mean, also like you're talking about, they lost Donald. They're
Yeah.
trying to be a little bit more of a physical team in terms of their run game. I think that could be an interesting matchup. But I don't know how they defend because, like, I know they got Verse. I know they traded up for his teammate. You know, they got some guys, but like, man, that back end isn't very good. And they are coming off of, if I have it correctly, they played the 49ers the week before, who could beat them up. So I think that we come away with that one, but I think it's close. I mean, you think of like the games, like these are all, I think, contending playoff level teams. So it's gonna be a good.
It's a good stretch. I'm with you. I feel like I'm just like riding your coattails here. Like I'm going 2-2 as well. I feel like it's a win. I just think I don't know. I just feel like the Bears are gonna be able to match up pretty well. Their defense. Matthew Stafford is kind of the X factor there. Like he can kind of eat up. You know, they got, like you said, Vicky, they have a pretty good offense. But I'm gonna go win.
Yeah, it's a warm weather game too. Like if we're playing, if it was Matthew Stafford playing in a cold game, right? Like later in the season, maybe it'd be something different. But that's still September. So Matthew Stafford balls out in warm weather and domes. So,
but has he balled out at Soldier Field ever?
That's fair. A good question. That is fair. No Lions quarterback actually does well in Soldier Field, surprisingly. It's just crazy. Yeah. So.
Okay, so we'll go to week 5 here. We're all at 2-2 is what I have it here to start the first 4 games of the season. Panthers, I think, I thought we could all just skip this one.
W.
Thank you, Carolina. No, for real. Nick, you feeling obviously win here, Vicky, as well?
Yeah. I mean, we're much better on paper. Like this, it would have to be such a horrendous game. Like it would have to be Caleb Williams, multiple interceptions, maybe a fumble or something like that, where they get great.
Tyson Bagent,
great,
took care of business.
Come on,
Caleb. I think,
and they also have a new coaching staff too. You think about that?
True.
They're probably gonna new coaches don't generally do well. Like it takes time,
especially early
and
early
talent level. I mean, roster. I mean, they have such a long way to go for Bryce Young, man. It almost reminds me of Justin, just a little bit on the situations, both of them. But I don't want to spend too much time on Carolina. I think it's a dub. This one's really interesting. Jacksonville. It is in London, so it's considered a home game. I think,
which is crazy because I'm pretty sure the stadium is owned by the Jaguars owner.
Yeah,
so that's why they always do.
The Bears are gonna they're gonna try. Like I think it's gonna be a very Bears crowd.
Oh no, I'm not arguing that, but it's funny that it's like, oh, you own the stadium, but you make your opponents be the home team. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow.
Anyways, Nick, I'll start here with you. I don't really have a read on this one with you, but what is your prediction here? Week 6 against Jacksonville. We got Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Chicago winning this game. I mean, you look at like in terms of like even like probabilities and stuff. I know it's not necessarily a home game, but I mean the Bears are a better overall team than Jacksonville. I mean, and I know they got Trevor Lawrence, and they're trying to give him some weapons. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. could take a little while. That O-line is sorry, y'all. Like you're worried about like the pass rush Chicago can get. I don't know that they can keep him upright, and I don't think that defense is anything that's going to stop Chicago either. So I know it's going to be weird because of the time of the game and traveling and all that kind of stuff. But when in doubt, I go with the more talented team.
No, I'm feeling the same way. It's very odd.
Yeah,
4-2 for me. I won't spend. Nick said it perfectly. Vicky, you want to add to that? How you feeling?
Yeah, I've been kind of going back and forth because it's like, do I use like bad memories I've had of this team traveling over the pond, right? They haven't performed well when they do, or play at weird times. So I think they lost the last time they traveled to London, right? They lost that game.
Yeah, but different. This is such a
Well, the thing is, I know, very true. But it's like it's hard to gauge teams playing such an outlier of a time. Because first of all, you don't have a lot of historical data on that because this is such a new thing for these teams. So I guess because it is a toss-up, you would have to go to who has the better roster on paper. And after, looking at the roster, and then also, let's not forget, Trevor Lawrence did lose Calvin Ridley too. He definitely got overpaid, but like that was a good weapon for him as well. We'll see if Ingram can have the same type of success he had last year, which was absurd, right? Probably not going to happen. He'll probably regress back to the mean or where he normally plays. So I have to agree with you guys on all that. On paper, we do have the better team, but don't be shocked if, because of time and traveling overseas, that a team, it could be them too, comes out just straight flat. So, but I'll take the dub and let's go 4-2 as well.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Jaguars. I just don't. For some reason, I like Trevor Lawrence, but even him, like I've watched him with some of these games. I'm like, he's made some crazy bad decisions. And I feel like the Bears, especially the secondary, and if we can get a pass rush, like you said, Nick, I mean, I feel like just the defense can really wreak havoc there. And like I said, both teams are going to be playing at a disadvantage in regards to just the layover or everything. It's going to be weird. But then we got to bye. Week 7. We're going to the bye. All of us are at 4-2 right now. And then we go into Washington, which, I mean, really good memories there. This one was last year was in Soldier Field. This one is away in Washington. I guess I'll start here so I don't feel like I'm jumping, on the bandwagon here. But I think this is an easy win. I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. Nick, are you in the same boat here?
Yeah, I mean they'll have a rookie quarterback who I think
Jaden.
he struggles in terms of, which is weird. He's very fast and he throws within structure, but outside of structure, he kind of struggles. He gets sacked often for an athletic guy, which is kind of like Justin. He's a lot like Justin, to be honest with you. So it's
Very
like,
much.
and their offseason is like Tennessee. They signed a bunch of veterans on a team that needs to, like, they brought in Austin Eckler, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's new coach. It just seems weird with what they're doing. I think it's an easy win.
Yeah, but I do like Jaden, like you said. I want to preface that because I think he has a possibility to at least succeed. We'll see. Ficky,
new organization, right? Basically, they cleaned house. They got new coaches. They got a new rookie quarterback. We beat them. I'm pretty sure last year, DJ Moore's game, that was in Washington. I think, not to correct you, Dave, but I think that was in there. So we beat them away. Montez Sweat actually had a good game that day. They don't have Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat revenge game, because I love revenge games. It's all set up for the Bears to win that one.
That was in Washington?
Yeah, pretty
last
sure.
Year?
It was what, Thursday Night Football or whatever. I know that.
Yeah, I think it was. Am I tripping? Maybe it was home. I can check. But either way,
remember that crowd going crazy. And if that's the case, they went crazy for the Bears in Washington like that.
Either way, whatever one it is, we beat them with they had a better roster last year, and we beat them.
I mean, right? DJ Moore should have had 4 touchdowns that game too, by the way.
Facts. Yeah, called out. That was dumb.
I know.
They
screwed us, man. Oh.
But I mean, he did kind of make up for it, though. You know what I mean? He literally got the yards back, but still, he had like 280. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure that was the week that Justin and DJ made me a lot of money in FanDuel. So I'm
sure. I had him in both my fantasy.
You're right, Ficky. It was FedEx Field. Yeah, I just remember the crowd go. It must have been very pro Bears, or it was me screaming.
Well, no one. I don't know. They're the Commanders. That most of the fans were most people don't support that team because of Dan Snyder. So there's now a revitalization of him being gone and the new regime kind of running things around there. So I don't think you'll see that as much this time. Like, the Bears do travel well, but I think the Washington Commander fans are like excited to actually support their team.
Hey, you know what else is just weird about that whole thing? It's like, okay, you get new ownership, like new hope, and then they don't get Ben Johnson. Like, they get like their third choice of head coach. It's like, then they don't get like I don't think they got their first choice of GM either. It's just like, what is going on in Washington?
I mean, do you trust an organization I know it's new people in there, but like Dan Snyder is like the worst owner that hasn't committed a crime or a racial slur publicly. You know what I mean? Like, he is god awful. So would you, if you're getting your first opportunity to be a head coach, I know there's a new regime and all that, would you be like, oh, let me go work for that company?
I mean,
hell no.
I mean, to me, you get to pick your quarterback. Like, that would be like the cool part.
That was enticing. I mean, the pick high number, they're number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty nice.
That's crazy. Ben Johnson said, "Nah, I'll stay at OC. I don't even want to go up." But you know what? We had something like that similar too with Ian Cunningham 2 years ago. He got offered the Arizona Cardinals GM job, and he said, "No, thanks." Like, it's
Did he get offered this year too?
I don't know.
Or he interviewed. I know he interviewed.
He definitely interviewed. I don't know if reports came out that he did. He easily could have, but he basically looked at the situation, was like, nah.
Well, I mean,
I'd
he's
rather
building
stay
this
where I'm at.
thing. He's building this thing from the ground up with poles. Like I think at least see it through for another year or two. Depending at you have a chance here to do something pretty special in Chicago if all things go right. So I mean, probably what you could probably go, say all things in the next year or two or even 3, you win a Super Bowl, then maybe a little bit easier to move on. You saw it through and then go from there. But week 9, go Nick.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, if you think of like the most pivotal off seasons, the last 2 for Chicago, to have your right hand man with you, like this is ideal. Like, we have to decide on Justin. We have 2 top picks. What are we doing with this? Like losing Ian, I think would have hurt all of
Big
this
time.
way more than keeping him. Like I was so grateful. I'm like, I'm glad that he's here. Like I know having the extra 3rd round pick, 2 years in a row would be nice, but like I'm okay with that next year.
Well, he already like saved us potentially a 3rd round pick from having, because Poles was wanting to trade up for Roma Dunze, and he's already like, hey, let's sit back, let's relax.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's probably not how it went, but just Ian he's calm. He seems a great fit. Those two are working really well together. Like I said, a lot of good things on the rise for just the franchise, not even the players. Just I feel very, very good about the front office. And anyway, San Francisco, another good front office here.
It's flipped. That should be the Cardinals. This was the old one. So I think the Cardinals play at week 9, right?
Oh, okay.
Nick,
Yeah, I think I actually have your
pull up the Chicago one, Dave, because I don't know
go.
if it's right on there. No, it's still off on that one. So
okay.
We'll have to flip it. But
gotcha.
yeah, it's week 9 Arizona.
Yep.
Which I wish it was the other way. I'd rather play San Francisco early.
Okay, so we play Washington and then Arizona.
Yeah.
Which I can actually, I think, scoot this up a little bit here. So interesting. So Arizona, Nick, I'll start with you. 305.
So here is my curveball. I think that Chicago loses this game because every year you have one of those games you're like, dude, what just happened? Like, how did, this is one of my things as I'm, going to bash Green Bay because everyone's so high on them. Green Bay lost to DeVito and the Giants.
It's true.
And then beat Carolina by 3. But all people think about is the Dallas game. I'm just like, that was in that stretch too. But like, this is going to be that game where Chicago, like, they go to Arizona, they come off of, they're doing pretty well, crush Washington, and then just like a dud happens, and they oversee because they're looking at maybe the future, or whatever.
Happens every season. That's why we love the NFL, because it really is week by week. Happens all the time. So I'll go. I agree with Nick on this. Another big key. I think this is our first 3 p.m. game. And again, timing is always, it's something in the NFL that players talk about it. We're not just making this up, but this being our first 3 p.m. game, maybe it does throw, because they're like, these players are routine based. So you're off your routine here. It is an away game. Arizona, I mean, Kyler can look good. He's got one of the best weapons in the NFL now with Marvin Harrison. I can see us losing this one, so I'll agree. What is that? Are we both 4 and 3?
You are no, you guys are 5 and 3. Both of you are 5 and 3. I'm going win here against Arizona. I like Kyler Murray. I'm just feeling a win. I'm gonna go with it. I think 305. Yeah, who knows? I think it's just, I feel good about it, man. I like Marvin Harrison Jr., but he's a rookie, like wide receiver. I know he's generational and he's gotten that tag on him. But Kyler Murray, we beat him last year. I just feel like the roster's better. You're 7 games in now. You think Caleb Williams and hopefully, the offense are, probably firing on all cylinders, hopefully going into this matchup or even beforehand. So I just feel like the Bears, I feel really good about their season and where they're going to be at. So I think I'm going to call this one a win. And then we'll move into away New England.
W. I mean, come on. Like, again, you can lose to any of these teams, but I don't know what argument you can tell me. Again, new quarterback, new head coach. Like what? I mean, and it's not even it's not like your new quarterback's Caleb Williams. It's Drake May that people view as a prospect, and view as a project. And you don't even know if he's starting. It could be the Jacoby Brissett game still. And who are their weapons? Who's catching the ball? Like, they're one of the worst rosters in the NFL. I know they're picking third.
They were 4 and 13 last year, man.
Yeah.
So
it's gotta be to me, it feels like Drake May's getting that Justin Fields treatment. It's like, hey, good luck.
That is facts. Yeah.
And like, think of like the last 2 weeks, like they're both easy games. Like Chicago plays like 4 of the top or the bottom 6 teams in the league in terms of like projected wins. But to me, it's like Arizona's 1 year, with that regime with Gannon, you know what I mean? Like they have an established quarterback. Like I think they're just a little bit further along than New England is right now.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you said it, Nick. You touched on it. Their the strength of schedule next year. The Bears have the 3rd easiest. Their opponent win percentage. I don't take this with a grain of salt, but it's 467.
Yep.
I mean, you look at the Cleveland Browns, who have the highest. It's 547. So I mean, I know take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like a lot of things are in the Bears' favor this year. This one's a W for me, which kind of is crazy. That's 7-2 for the Bears right now. You guys are at 6-3.
So
and then we go into go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
So this is just something. This is from Warren Sharp's website, but just in terms of that, Dave. So last year, the teams with the 15 easiest like strengths of schedules or going in predicted, 11 of them had a winning record. Didn't matter who it was. So 11 had a winning record. And then of the 15 that had the hardest strength of schedules going into the year, only 5 had a winning record. Like that stuff matters, y'all.
Yeah. Wow. Because if you think about it, right, there's going to be some teams that flip from being bad to good. It happens. But that number is still less than 5. Right. So if you're in the bottom half, you're only losing about 1/3 of those where maybe they're projected wins to losses. So you still got 2/3 in your favor, right? So because of that, from a number standpoint, it's easy for you to get 9 games, especially with 17 games you play now. So yeah, that's why
of the 17 teams that had the hardest schedules going into the year, right? Only 4 made the playoffs.
Yeah, because good luck. I mean, there's only so many spots, right? And if you're hardest, that means you're literally just battling it out for those 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Shout out to Warren Sharp too, though. I like.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
he puts out a lot of
good
analytical stuff. So,
okay.
Question though, how many have we agreed on so far that are basically we're like that's automatic W? Like, is it Titans?
I think it's only 2, right?
Titans,
or 3 maybe.
Carolina, and Patriots.
Washington.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad. We're about.
I can see Tennessee. Yeah. I agree. Tennessee, I don't know. It could be weird.
Oh no, we didn't do Tennessee, right? Because Nick picked him as a loss.
No, I had a W.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, so still that's not bad.
Wrong.
We're about halfway through, and about 4 of them we feel confident on that we can.
But hey, we go into we beat New England. We feel real good. Probably this is nice. Then we got Green Bay, the Green Monster, Jordan Love for Lambeau. Yeah, in Lambeau.
No, this one's matchup. Lambeau's at a week 18.
Yeah.
This one's
I'm getting confused. Yeah, with the marker. Okay, that makes sense. So home, I like that then, to be honest. So you got Green Bay at home.
Thank God it's not a primetime game. My God. I know the last one is, but
I'm not afraid, man. I don't know why this team has me too damn confident. And I know it's May, but I just feel really good about like every game this year. Like as far as being competitive.
No, that's fair, but Packers us primetime, and again, this is PTSD on me, so I'll take the blame.
But like Ryan Poles said, this is different, dog. This is different. Like I just feel like they got their guy, and I'm not gonna. Now if they shit the bed this year, like you said, Vicky, then I'm right back with you. I'll probably have it for the rest of my life. But I'm taking off the chains, the bad seasons. I'm leaving it there, man. Like obviously. I said if everything goes, to shit this year, then maybe. But I feel good, man. But I want to start here, Figgy, with you. Green Bay at home. It's probably going to be a big matchup, man. Like, to be honest. Division's going to be crazy already. And is this our first divisional game?
It is.
Mm-hmm. Lord. So,
yeah. And out of the last
then you got a gauntlet.
After the last 7 weeks, there's only one that's non-divisional, and that's San Fran.
I feel like that's why it's so important to beat obviously Carolina, beat the Cardinals.
Well, yeah, maybe you need them because literally all of these last 7 games. I mean, Vikings probably not, but literally all of those are 10+ win teams.
No, don't give me. I mean, the Vikings could be tough.
No, I know that, but I'm most likely that you're going to have 3 10-win teams in one division, and I think we could be like we're better than the Vikings. But even still, this is a gauntlet, like you said. Good luck.
That's why you take care of business. Win some games that you should on paper. And you could probably give yourself a little bit of a cushion down the stretch because it is going to be a crazy division. But what are you thinking, Green Bay?
best case scenario is that we have handled business where we need to, and the confidence is high going into Green Bay. So let's say we're like 5-2 or something like that, or whatever the number is. If that's the case, I feel really, really good that we can just keep that train rolling and beat Green Bay. All right, this is tough because, Dave, me and you have both said this on this podcast many times. We can't diss or not pick the Packers until we actually beat the Packers because we have never seen it, okay? We have never seen it in such a long time. They have our number. But I think this is a different time because it's Caleb at home, and he knows how important it is to beat this team. Not just him, but I think a lot of people on this team understand that this is the biggest crutch. They're circling this matchup and saying, we have to win this game. I think they view this as a playoff game, and I think if they treat it like that, they view themselves as a playoff team. So I think this will be a great test for that type of environment. And it is at home. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to take the Bears. It's hard to believe that I would say something like this, but I don't even believe the words that just came out of my mouth.
I like how quiet Dave is. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. I'm going with a loss here. And this is based off of just those statistics. So Green Bay's coming off a bye week the week prior. Chicago isn't. So you think of like they'll be healthier, they'll have 2 weeks to game plan, all that kind of stuff. So if all things are equal, I think that extra rest is a factor here.
That's fair.
Yeah. I want to go with, you got me pumped up a little bit, Fake. I ain't gonna lie to you. Got me a little amped, juice is flowing, but I can't pick against Green Bay. I said it. I don't know, maybe week 18 or week 17. I'll see when we get there in a minute. But yeah, I'm going loss here. Hopefully it's close. I just don't want to get blown out. That would piss me off, honestly. But hopefully you have some confidence. You go in there and you fight. So
how do you guys feel about not playing Green Bay or I guess any division game early and they're all late?
I hate it. I don't like it.
But the other side of the coin is like, you know what you are at that point. Like you have a better understanding of this football team, and that might be beneficial for us with a rookie quarterback. Look at the Packers last year, right? Love went on his like firestorm the last 6-7 games, right? The first half, everyone's looking at the Packers, including us, like, yo, this team's garbage. Jordan Love is trash, right? They kind of figured some things out. They got once he figured it out, they're like, all right, let's go. Maybe it's not as rough of a start for Caleb, but maybe by this time we kind of understand, like, that he has a better understanding of the playbook. We know that the players have a better understanding of the plays. Maybe we're gelling just a little bit more, and we kind of just roll through this gauntlet. So
I think it's interesting, Nick. It's a good point. Like I said, I hate it off the rip, but I think some of the toughest matchups probably come at the end of the season because our division's so good. So you kind of get some layups like we talked about, and you're not. Yeah. So I think there's like pros and cons to this where it's like, you better be ready. You better be healthy. that's a big thing here because it's going to be a lot of war, a lot of games, man, a lot of battles here. And hopefully the Vikings aren't as good as I think, because I'm pretty high on them. So, but I have them as a loss. Just to give a quick recap for, obviously people watching YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Nick is 6-4 on the season. Ficky and I are both 7-3. Heading into our second divisional game at home, JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, and the Vikings. Nick?
We're home, and I think we wax them. Like, I don't think it's close. I think that they come back. They're mad they lost to Green Bay, and this is like what Ficky was talking about. This is one of those Caleb's like, because I was at the Notre Dame game, y'all, when USC lost last year, and at the end of that game, when it was over, it was decided. Caleb was running. Caleb was trying. Like he's got that in him. So like, if you got that dog in you and you just lost to Green Bay when that was like the big thing, the next week, like, you watch out, that dog's going to be mad.
Yeah. It's like my Knicks a couple of days ago, but yes, I think so too. Like, he gives that vibe, doesn't he? He gives like that, fuck you, I'm gonna get it now, like type of attitude, which I love. So based off your, absolutely. Based off your scenario, 100%, I would agree with you on that. I'm gonna just look at the roster and say, hey, I think we're better, and it's at home. And to be fair, we typically play well against the Vikings out of any of the NFC teams, right? Like I think we put up a decent fight, or we've beaten them a decent amount of times. So I still feel confident that we can do that. And again, I know this is kind of like a cop-out and like a reasoning, but you got to look at the quarterbacks. Like this is a quarterback-driven league. So the first thing you do is when you look at this matchup is who has the ball every play? JJ McCarthy. Do you trust JJ McCarthy with his weapons? Of course, you got Justin Jefferson and Addison. It's not like they're bad weapons, right?
I do.
Or do you trust that more than Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, DJ Moore?
I don't know, man. I just think the Vikings are going to be sneaky. I don't know. I
maybe on some other teams.
JJ McCarthy, Justin Jefferson's he's the best in the league, and then Jordan Addison's tough. I don't know. I'm hoping.
I'm taking the dub. I'm taking the dub on this one.
So a couple things in this. So I liked McCarthy coming out. I had him as my QB3, but what the NFL said was very interesting. So New England was like, we are not trading this pick, because apparently they got offered the 3 first from Minnesota. They said, nope. We knew who that was for, because when pick 4 came up, and 5 and 6 and 7, Minnesota wasn't giving up 3 first to go get McCarthy, or maybe anything. I don't know. We don't know everything, but it didn't happen. To me, I'm like, if you guys give me 3 firsts, I'll give up the Joe Alt pick, Yeah. And then Atlanta, we know what they did. They decided to take another quarterback instead of JJ McCarthy. So that's another team that's like, you know what? I'm not so sure on this guy. And then the Bears do what they did. And then the Jets flopped picks with them. And no one else jumped ahead. The Raiders needed a quarterback. They didn't give up the haul to get him. So to me, I'm like, well, am I right? I'm McCarthy? Or what did the NFL say? Because it's their jobs on the line. And they didn't trade up the haul to go get him.
Right. Yeah. And what is he? Was that like him QB5, right? That was taken right before Bo Nix. So, I mean, like, the NFL's been wrong before. Aaron Rodgers fell all the way to 17, but I think he was still QB2 in that draft, right? He was still the second, I think, quarterback taken in that one, even though he may have fell late. QB5 is different. Like, that means 4 other people in front of you, they said, no, we'd rather have that. And maybe 1 or 2 are wrong. Yeah. Maybe he's really QB3, but even still, So
I just think as far as landing spots go, and maybe that's what's weighing, Kevin O'Connell, like, big fan of his. I don't know. I just think as a landing spot, it's maybe not good as Chicago, but
it's a good
when you factor in the Bears issue with quarterbacks too, I just feel like it's a really good spot for JJ. So, which I am. Who is your number 2, Jaden, or do you have May?
I had May too.
Wow. So you had Jaden 4.
Yeah, I Jaden 4. Yeah. The other part to it, and that's not for fantasy, because I do fantasy writing. He's higher than fantasy, but this is just NFL. Right. But I like all 4. This isn't like I'm not dissing anybody. Yeah. The other thing too of why I have this as a win, and you talked about the weapons, is TJ Hawkinson shredded his knee on the day before Christmas or Christmas last year. And so I'm not sure when he'll be available, and this is week 12, but still he might not be back.
He'd be coming back
the same guy yet. So
he'd be coming back right around that time ish. So, but you got it. Doesn't mean you're ready to rock and roll. So
right, it wasn't just especially with the knee. It was it was a multiple ligament thing.
It was a bad one.
So
was that from a hip? That wasn't from a hip drop, was it? I don't know. Not to put you on the spot.
I can't. Oh no, I think that was someone just they tackled right at his knee.
Oh yeah, that sounds very painful. So, but yeah, that's a good point. Obviously it's hard to predict injuries and when people are coming back and whatnot, but
you can't.
I agree with you, Dave, though, that like that's a favorable. I'd say that's the second favorable spot for a quarterback. I think Atlanta might be higher, but Kirk Cousins in front of them, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, overall though, like if it's not the Bears, like that is you got Kevin O'Connell, you got the best wide receiver in the league, you got TJ Hawkinson when he comes back, Addison. So yeah,
Aaron Jones too now.
Aaron Jones,
Barry Killer.
Barry Killer has effect.
So we go into the Lions. At home, or I'm sorry, away.
This is
Lions are 12-5, division, Thanksgiving, which I'm excited about. Thank God. I just love the Bears on Thanksgiving. I do. And so I'll start with this one, I guess. I right now I have the Bears 8-3. I'm actually going to have this one as a loss. It kind of sucks. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but to kind of keep it a little bit more realistic, where I can't pick the Bears to win every week. I'm going to go, and I feel like really could be a close loss, similar to last year. Hopefully, it's not a meltdown like we saw with Detroit. But man, we played really well against both times last year. So I'm gonna go win, or I'm gonna go loss, move me to 8-4. Nick, how you feeling on Thanksgiving?
I think that my Thanksgiving Day is going to get ruined. I'm going to be mad. The Bears are going to lose. I mean, again, Detroit's good. I know we played well last year. They got a squad, y'all. It's on the road. And that, again, coming off of a win, and then down to a loss. Because sometimes you're a little bit less motivated after a win.
Vicky?
Good point. Of course, I go against the grain. I'm going to actually take this one as a win. I think this is a surprise away game that we pull off on Thanksgiving. We've beaten the Lions on Thanksgiving before. The Lions have not looked great against us in a long time, right? So I could see us doing it. First Thanksgiving game for a lot of these Bears players, so maybe they take advantage of it. It is an early game, though, so again, that timing, who's going to be prepared for that? But
I love it. I actually love that 11:30. Let's get it out.
So do
the
I.
way.
You get it right before the meal? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And then it's like, if you lose, it's like, all right, man, we got food. Get a little happier, and
you can eat away your pain, and then
exactly.
watch the Packers lose at night.
If you win, it's the same damn thing. You probably eat more. I don't know. Depends.
No, I agree though. It's having it first is like let's get
Vicky,
it out of the way.
9-3, Vicky right now.
Yeah, trust me, it's not going to be all rainbow and sunshine in this back five. So
one thing to keep in mind, I'll keep this quick, is I always go to I'm getting married, by the way.
Congrats.
In 2 Sundays, so it'd be very quickly here. But we always go to her side of the family for Thanksgiving, and they're out just outside Detroit. So I'm going to be hounded, either way how it goes. So
and Detroit fans are
they're
awesome.
They're awesome. Yeah, they're wild.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Better that than Wisconsin, though. So
it's brutal, man. It's brutal up here.
That's tough.
So we got San Francisco in California. So we all feeling L here?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Nick's got me thinking he might be thinking W on this one. I got to go L. I'll make mine quick. Like, I don't think we beat them. They're a much better team. It's an away game.
Nick?
It's not happening.
The wheels are turning.
I'm going with the dub. So here's why. Okay. So when we think of, again, the rest, right? You just played on a Thursday. You have all those days of extra rest. You'll be healthier than San Francisco is. And also, San Francisco doesn't play on noon. They play Sunday night football the game before too. So you have the extra rest, plus they have a little bit less rest than normal. On top of, you just lost to Detroit on national TV. You talk about Caleb and them being hungry. They're going to be hungry for this one. I think this is one where people are like, oh, hold up. Maybe the Bears are legit.
That's fair. I'm not mad about that. That'd be great.
Goosebumps City.
Dave, what about you? Would you wait? Actually, here's a question real quick. Would you rather, like by choice, have a win on Thanksgiving or the Bears upsetting a better team like the 49ers?
I would rather win on Thanksgiving because everyone sees the game versus this game probably. Well, I mean, what time is this game?
3:25 time slot, but subject to change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I also with your family. I mean, I'm my whole family's Bears fan, so I mean, it's just we win, everyone's feeling good. If we lose, it's like it kind of almost ruins a little bit of Thanksgiving. So I'll go with that one, but I'm going loss here though. Simple as that. I'm hoping it's close. Keep saying it, and I think it could be. I think it really will be. I think a lot of these games are going to be. I don't think the Bears are going to be. There's no reason they should be blown out. Keep it short. So in a lot of these, so Vikings away.
I think this is the
stadium Kevin Warren built.
Yes, facts. So, we don't know where this new one's going to be. I'm gonna go win. I think we can actually sweep the Vikings. Okay. I think that's the only sweep we're gonna have, but I think that is if we're gonna sweep a team in the division, I think that's the one. And to be honest, if we want to make the playoffs, we have to sweep at least one of these 3 teams. We have to. And this is the easiest one to possibly do it because the Lions are great. The Packers at least showed last year that they're better than us, right? They may regress a little bit, but if you had a choice to pick which one of these teams is the worst one, I think we would all agree that we're better than the Vikings on paper. Yeah. So I'm going for the sweep here.
Nick?
I have an L here. Again, coming off a high win of upsetting San Francisco, and then Monday Night Football. It's like, oh, seriously? Yeah, I've lost. Plus, Hawkinson might be back for this week if you think it's a month later.
Should be.
Yeah.
I like that you guys don't know where I'm going to go. I like this. This is kind of fun.
No, I love it. I love it. It's great. So it makes it show great. Dave, what about you?
I'm going win. I'm going win here. I think they pull an upset and take care of business against JJ. So, Nick, I have you. Let me see here. So, Nick, you're at. I'm at like 10-5 or 9-5.
Okay.
I'm at 9-5. Vicky, you're at 10-4. And
Jesus.
Nick, you're at. Do I have this right? Are you 8-6?
I'm 8-6. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I
did not know I had 10 wins.
Yeah, you're feeling good, Vicky. Which is fine. This is good. This is good.
That's not how I came into this. I was not necessarily thinking.
And you're stuck. You're stuck with this prediction the whole entire year. There ain't no goal. I forgot to mention that early on, Nick.
Yeah,
so you and Rob talking. You can't change this. This is it. You do the same script.
All right.
Okay. No, I'm just kidding. So 9-5, Vicky 10-4, Nick 8-6, and we go into Detroit at home.
I'll start this one. I'll start this one.
Oh,
I got Chicago winning this game. They're mad about what happened against Minnesota. They lost on Thanksgiving Day. They're going to come and take care of business against Detroit.
Vicky.
Man, I feel like me and Nick have been on a roll of being opposite on the last 8 picks, which is great. I'm going to go a loss here. I don't think we can sweep Detroit twice. Even though Jared Goff would have to have the same type of horrible games that he had last year.
Well, we didn't sweep him last year.
That's true. We should have.
Close.
Right? We couldn't even do it then. But also, to be fair, on the other side of the coin, Jared Goff has never played well against the Bears. Ever. Now, he's only played them 3 or 4 times, so it's not much data, but I just feel like they're gonna handle business. I mean, they're the much better team, I would say, than us. At least that might be different, this late in the season, but they're definitely the better team. So I'm going to take the L here.
I just think of Goff when McVay and then came to Soldier Field in 2018.
Dave was at that game.
Goff looked. Oh, Dave was there. Goff looked terrible last year.
Yeah.
Goff didn't look good at Soldier Field. I just think it's a thing.
It is, which is so weird. But also, he didn't look good in Detroit either. I think that's the game we won, right? We lost the one at home because we blew the lead, or was it vice versa?
No, I think it's flipped.
But flipped? Yeah. So it hit. Those were both, actually, all 3 of those games were multi-interception game. 2 of them were 3 interceptions because it was the Rams. He threw 3 or 4.
Yep.
And Mitch also threw 3 or something like that. Crazy. And then the one we won, he threw 3. And then the one we lost, I'm pretty sure he threw 2 and fumbled or something like that. So.
Dave, what was that game like, man?
In 2018?
Yeah.
That was fantastic, dude. It was. So I was with my uncle, and it was 2018. So later in the season, the Rams, you remember, were on a roll, man. Like that offense, they had that Monday night shootout with KC, just an insane offense. And then you come to Chicago, and it was, Mitch looked awful, but it's like Goff was so much worse. It was really cool. I have all the interceptions, basically all that on my phone that I took videos of. It was the atmosphere. It was like a playoff game that we actually ended up pulling out, but the offense was so bad. But I didn't even feel bad, or I wasn't even upset with the offense because the defense was so electric, man. And then Goff was terrible. So it was honestly, that win it's one of my favorite games I've ever been to, just because of the team they played, the caliber, what it meant. It was Sunday night, right? Sunday night game, Sunday night matchup. And it was insane. So
what a Bears answer, though. No other fan base is oh my God, what a great game. That was so exciting to see the defense dominate.
Yeah. Well, it's just the feelings that came out of it, though. The feelings that came out of it also was because the Bears were really pretty good.
Yeah.
But then it was they beat LA, and they did it convincingly on the defensive side. No one up until that point in that season was able to stop the Rams from scoring. And so, and that was at the end of the year, or at least pretty close. So then you're oh my goodness, the Rams are number 1 in the NFC at that point for the most part. Everyone's okay, these guys are contenders. And then the Bears did that to them. So I was we have a legit chance, and we all know how it ended. I get it. I'm going to bring it up.
Boink.
It's like, I felt like really good as a Bears fan, talking to my family, uncle, some friends. Our section, everyone went home just drunk. It was crazy, man. I was like, what's it? I was actually the only one who was sober. I had to drive. So anyways, long story short, one of my most favorite memories. And so I had a lot of confidence going to that one.
And to be fair, that season we were riding on the defense. That was our offense. It wasn't like that was the first game.
Except for the Bucs game.
That is true. That is true.
Oh, yeah,
Mitch's 6 touchdowns. Wild.
6 touchdowns.
Wild, bro.
Yeah.
Almost breaking records. But yeah, I just love that answer because it's like you imagine a Chiefs fan saying, well, our offense looked like dog shit, but what a great game because of the defense. But I agree. I was hyped.
It's changing though. It's a new era of Bears football. Actually, I don't even take it back. It is a new era, but we're still going to get a really damn good defense. Thanks to Ryan Poles and what they built. So we got the Lions. We finished up that one. Are we in Seattle at home now?
Home.
So
Thursday night football.
I love them. Day after Christmas?
Yes. On Netflix. Is this Netflix?
No, it's on Christmas Day.
Netflix is Christmas? Right? Okay, this might be Amazon or something. I don't know.
They might actually have the day after. So I'll start with you, Nick.
Oh, it's Thursday night, so it's Amazon.
I'm predicting a win here. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm going Dub. Yeah, I think that I like Seattle and what they're building, but I don't trust Gino's been falling off a little bit, and plus he just lost his coordinator, right? And they got a whole new coaching staff there. I think that Chicago takes care of business.
I agree. Everything Nick said. So I think we pull this one off. Also, Bears play surprisingly good on primetime games if it's not versus the Packers, and they do surprisingly really good on Thursday Night Football. So
that's true.
I don't know why, but they just do. That's the game they decide to show up. So
Thursday night, I'm going win as well. I don't think they're going to lose this one. I don't. So 11-5 going into week 17. Green Bay Packers. It is in Lambeau. Perhaps a lot on the line, or at least seeding, and maybe even divisional. It's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a big game. Like I said, it's one I'm really looking forward to and hoping that there is something to play for. Unlike last year. So Nick, I'm gonna end it here with you. You're 10-6 right now. It's a monumental game. This is the end of the year once again against Green Bay, unless you make it to the playoffs, of course. How are we feeling? Where are we leaning? Green Bay, Chicago.
Caleb gets his revenge, and Chicago dominates at Lambeau. And I think it's going to be like something epic. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's a close game, and like Rome, like Moss's, like Jair, or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, like Caleb's that dude, and we did it there, and it like gives us like the division title or something. Because I have them at 11 wins, so like I think they'll get the playoffs at 11. But I think this is gonna be like to win the division or like seeding or something. I think it's gonna be something pretty special.
I hope you're right, man.
Oh my God.
I hope you're right.
That was painful to hear. Not because of you, Nick, but I'm just like my brain was trying to like predict something like that happening. It's like can't compute. You know what I mean?
Okay,
that'd be fantastic.
You guys got to clip that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. And when it does, yes, we're gonna put that on repeat. And don't worry, you'll get hella views for that beautiful prediction. But God, to follow that, like you convinced me in a way, but then I'm like, man, the Bears fan in me is like,
okay, more things. I forgot about this. Extra rest, right?
Yeah, we
just
talked
played
about that.
Thursday night. You get those extra days.
Game plan as well. If you're any nagging injuries, exactly. I like it.
No,
all right, Vicky.
Okay, so we can beat the Packers out of one of the two games, right? I already picked them to beat one. I don't think we're sweeping them, right? This is in Lambeau. So if I took the risk to say we're beating them at home, I'm going to have to say we're probably going to lose this one, which is okay. I think that it's not going to be your typical Packers loss in Lambeau, where it's like multiple touchdown, difference, margin of win, right? So I think we play well. So I think when you think about like playoff implications or like the morale of the team going in, I'm not seeing as big as of like a beat down or like demoralizing loss compared to those of the past. So it's a loss, but I don't think it's going to have too much effect moving forward.
All right, so Nick, you're 11-6. Vicky, you're 11-6. I'm 11-5. A lot of hangs in the balance here. I can go with you guys. We can be a real boring 11-6, 11-6, 11-6 across the board, but I can't. I'm gonna go win here, and it tops off a 12-5 season. I guess I don't know how I got here.
I'm not mad about it.
No, I think Green Bay is tough. I really hope the Bears could. I think you sneak in. I think you get in actually 11-6. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I think you can almost win the division just based on how it's going to be. Teams are going to be pummeling each other, especially down the stretch. So let's see here. Yeah, 12-5. I'm going to go win. I have no idea how it's going to transpire. I just hope we get a win. That's all I'm saying.
I'm proud of you, Dave.
Thank you. 12-5.
I know it's tough, man.
12-5. 12-5 in Super Bowl.
Wait, man, I picked some ones against the grain. It's just not the Packers, okay?
12-5 though. If you go 12-5 rookie year,
that's crazy, bro. You
well,
answer
11-6 is a hell of a season too.
You answer the one question that all I care about. Are you the QB1 moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because most likely it's not going to be a 2018 defense carrying you because of just the weapons on offense. That means like, okay, Caleb Williams is our guy. Check. We're all happy. Even if we lose a playoff game, we feel comfortable about the next years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Say